Angie, I am so glad that you are here. Let me tell the folks a little bit more about Miss Garner, because when I met Miss Garner, she was a personal trainer at a place that we used to work at together. And it is just so funny how, you come back together and, you are working, doing different things and, working your stuff. And I am just so proud of you. But let me tell you guys a little bit about Miss Garner. So Angie Garner is a best-selling author, podcaster, and visionary transformation coach, showing women how to redesign their life of have-tos into a life of fulfillment, purpose, and joy. Angie says, I'm a coach, not a cheerleader. Angie gives her clients repeatable frameworks that actually produce results. If you are the type of doer who is eager to learn and implement actionable steps in order to build the business you know deep down you are capable of, you are in the right place at the right time, connected to the right coach. She didn't put that in there. I did. Okay. As an entrepreneur for over a decade, Angie works with women who want to start or grow a six-figure business online using their, get this, authentic voice, gifts, and message. Come on, Angie, talk to us.
Yes, sisters, because you know why? Being you is your superpower. We in this online space can get caught up in a lot of comparison or going, well, that person's already doing it. Why me?
Mm-hmm.
But every one of us has a very unique story and a message that needs to be heard. And I truly believe that it's not just building any old business. It's about building a business that's true to you.
Mm-hmm.
That is what's going to light you up when you wake up in the morning and get excited to go to work.
I love it. So talk to us about your gifts. Tell us, what are your gifts?
Frankie, I'll tell you a little bit about my backstory. I've run a very successful network marketing business for the last 10 years. And what network marketing will do is really force you to take a microscope and look at, who am I truly? How can I lead well? There's so many facets of leading a business like that. And so about 5 years ago, my husband and I went on a trip around the world. We traveled for 8 months across all the continents. And that was obviously a lot of time soul searching. Is before we had children. And I came home and I asked God, and I said, because I was really struggling at the time. I was with a previous network marketing company. It didn't feel super authentic at the time. And so I asked God, I'm like, God, who am I? And why am I here? So ladies, if you're taking notes, if you have not asked and really pressed into those questions, set aside the time to do that. And God told me, I'm a messenger. I'm a messenger of hope. And I deliver love, encouragement, and speak into people's destinies. That is my gift. And so much so that my parents named me Angelica, which means messenger. And I really take that role seriously. And so whenever I'm feeling intimidated about launching a podcast or writing a book, or feeling imposter syndrome, or feeling like I don't have any value to add, I remember who I am. And so my gifting, Frankie, is I am a messenger of hope. I pull people's dreams out of them. My team likes to call me the goal slayer, because I'm very good at reverse engineering what people want and being like, here's what it's going to take. So that's just a little bit about me and my giftings.
Wow. Well, I have, like I said, we met at, doesn't need to say the name, but we worked at a really big gym, and I worked on the operations side, and you were a personal trainer.
Okay, I forgot. I thought we met at one of the big events in Bellevue, like the wealth building event. We got reconnected at an event.
We got reconnected, but we started at 20 at that place. And I just remember you coming in and, you know, just coming in and learning and being a part of the culture and kind of standing out a little bit because there was a lot going on there. And I just remember you standing out and thinking to myself, I like her. And just your person, you would come in smiling and just, had a bubbly personality. And I remember one year you invited me to your birthday party at the hotel across the street. I don't know if you remember that. I think you were like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. You're like, I'm having a little birthday party on Saturday. You want to come? And so, and that was a long time ago, but I just remember just your personality just kind of stood out to me. And then, like you said, we reconnected at a big business event in Bellevue, and then just pretty much have just been following each other and watching each other. And I've been following you and watching you now. You said you were on your traveling journey for 8 months. It seemed like longer than that.
Well, we've done extensive travel. I mean, we take a lot of, like, we'll do a month in Mexico this year. So we do it's a huge value of ours, but we had this one particular world trip where we literally put our stuff in storage and traveled the world.
And I remember that. I remember you guys went to like Italy and some other places. And I promise you, I was living vicariously through you. And so share a little bit with the viewers about how you use your giftings in your business, on a day-to-day basis.
I use my giftings by speaking my truth through social media. Social media has always been a platform for me, and I did get started on social media many, many years ago. I was part of Facebook when it was just for college kids. You met me. I started at the gym when I was 20 years old. I was still taking full-time business classes at the University of Washington, coming in and personally training before and after school. And what I learned through that process, I started sharing things on Facebook. I started sharing my clients and my experiences. I started sharing my workouts. I started doing mirror selfies before they were called mirror selfies. It was just I was sharing my life, and it started to inspire people. And what transpired is in 2010, I started my first blog, and it was called In My Spandex. And it literally followed my journey because I literally wore spandex every day. Oh, wait, I still do. I threw on a stretchy dress for you guys today. Okay. I was just always in workout clothes, always training, always thinking about fitness. And I had opened up my own gym at that point. And so I was sharing like the behind the scenes of a young fitness entrepreneur. And what I was doing is I was using my voice. I was using my gifts. I am a writer. And I realized through that blog that people like reading my writing. I never, in school, your giftings aren't usually spoken into in the traditional school system. Mm-hmm. They really aren't brought out. Right. It's all very curriculum based, and it really doesn't. I was always excited to get out of school so I could work on things I was excited about. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't wait for summer vacation so I can read books that interest me. And so when I was in this new place of college, I still had to do the textbook study thing, but mostly I was ready for that next thing, which was to build my career. And what I discovered is that you could build a personal brand online. And if you have influence, well, you can sell anything, really. Right. I mean, if you're Kim Kardashian, you can sell anything. And so I started unfolding, and I'm like, wow, like when I use my voice, some people like it, some people don't. So you got to be okay with that. Right. But when you walk in that power of your truth and your message, and you're speaking about things that are very important to you and that you believe in, you're going to attract people to what you're doing. Absolutely. And so I started building a personal brand without ever knowing what that was. Mm-hmm. And that helped with my personal training business. But when I started network marketing in 2011, it really gave me a level up. because I had built a network online. And at the time, this wasn't something they were teaching in network marketing.
Right.
It was just the beginning of like the Amy Porterfields, and Instagram hadn't even come to the table yet. It was just about to. And so it was a very different time 10 years ago.
Right.
But one thing that always held true is that if I show up consistently, and I have showed up consistently on social media for 15 years with my voice. Now I've grown a lot. Like I look at posts 3 years ago and I'm like, ooh, that's really not my truth anymore, you know?
Right.
Or, ooh, thankfully I have more wisdom now. So that's okay. But I've been willing to, you know, bear all. I've been willing to show up and be myself in that moment. And that is what's holding so many people back, is kind of shrinking back, afraid to say the wrong thing, to offend, because there's such a heavy level of offense now in the world we're in. But you'll always stay small if you don't speak your truth.
Right.
So that was a long answer to how am I using my gifting. I'm writing, I'm speaking, I'm saying yes to doing summits like this. You know, every time you say yes, it pushes you out your side of your comfort zone a little bit. It sharpens you so that you can be better the next time.
Absolutely. So talk to us about being a coach and not a cheerleader.
Well, I personally love to show up, and this is why network marketing has worked so well for me, because I'm like, give me the plan. Is there a plan? I can take a plan. I can do the work. I can get uncomfortable. So when I meet with my clients, I have an 8-week course, a one-on-one that I do called Dream Biz Blueprint, and we build a business based on what you truly believe you're called to, not just what you think is going to make money or some good idea. So we make you, your personal brand, the foundation of your business, so that you can offer other products and services as your interests evolve. So in terms of being a coach, we get down to business. Right. And I am very much an encourager, and I am a cheerleader. It just comes by naturally as, you know, a personal trainer. Even when I worked with clients, we'd get the program, I'd clap them along, but they're doing the work.
Right.
Ultimately, ladies, you've got to do the work, but you have to find someone that's a few steps ahead of you and follow. It is the only way. I've always had a coach. I've always worked and been involved. I've always contributed to events and done what I can in that season that was needed to grow.
Right. And, you know, I love what you're saying, because, you know, you do have to have a coach. When you think of the greats, right? You think of Michael Jordan, you think of Kobe Bryant, you think of all of these people, they had a coach, and that's the only way you're going to get to where you're going. And I have a friend who says those who pay attention. And so I think about the times where, even in myself, where I was just trying to figure it out and I couldn't get further than where I was going because I didn't have anyone who was a few steps ahead of me. And it wasn't until I invested in myself, because it's an investment, until I invested in myself, that I was able to really start, you know, moving things along. And so I really appreciate you sharing that. And then also talk to us about the Rise and Thrive podcast.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you know, this is my third podcast. So first time's not always a charm. I had a podcast I started when I was on the trip around the world. It was called Hustle Smarter. And it was flowing, but I didn't have like a full vision attached to it. And so I'm coming to just being really honest. I've tried a lot of things. And so when I got back into podcasting, I was like, I want to make this the right thing. So Rise and Thrive is about living out your calling. It is a show that I keep really bite-sized shows once a week on Wednesdays. They're live, and it's speaking into your giftings and your destiny, ladies. Sometimes they're more tangible, actionable. Sometimes the shows are kind of, you know, more of your ethereal, like vision and dreams and processes that have helped me. But it is a very, it's a show that you're going to leave with something every single time. So that's a podcast I have on Wednesdays. And then on Mondays, I have a podcast that I do with a group of 3 other women, also a weekly show called Leggings, Top Knots, and Fat Bank Accounts. And that is our behind the scenes of running a social marketing business, network marketing, a industry that has stigma, and we just lay it all out for you. So it's kind of just us jabbing and talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the industry, but also training and sharing what's working for us and our teams. So I have those 2 different shows.
Awesome. And so I was listening to a little bit of your podcast last night, and one of the things that you said on there that you're a life redesign expert. Tell us a little bit more about that.
My favorite thing to do, and my really close friends, they laugh because like I'm not gonna get together and be like, how's your day going? My question for you is like, what's getting you excited? What are you dreaming about? What's your next goal? I'm extremely goal oriented. It's what drives me. It's what motivates me. And so I'd love to sit with you, Frankie, and be like, what is it you truly, deeply want? How do you want to live? How do you want to wake up? What do you want your day to day to look like? How much money do you want to be making? What's that money going to do for you? And then you know what? We start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So we design the life you really want to wake up to and get excited about.
Oh, I love that. So just taking the pieces, I love that because that's how I think. My brain thinks in pictures and puzzles. So I put the puzzle together in my head, and then I can put it together outside of there. Once it's put together in my head, it's like, boom, I can do it. I can move on it. And so I love that.
Well, especially not all, but a lot of problems or goals can be solved with a certain amount of finances. And so in my journey, I went from trading dollar for hour, working 10-hour days as a personal trainer, opening a gym, going into debt for that. My husband and I, we had $95,000 of debt. And so this was one of the first major things I did is I go, how are we going to get rid of this debt? What is it actually going to take? And it's just a number. It's just money. And so we started strategizing. Okay, how can we increase? How can we decrease our expenses? And we just absolutely tackled it. We got debt free. Then what's the next goal? So it's not always financial, but that is a big piece to it because a lot of us feel strained for our time, but our time's connected to money. And we're like, well, I have to work this amount so that I can pay for this. And so if I can help eliminate this stress of money for people, of wondering where it's coming, then I can help them get free to pursue whatever it is their giftings. So for me, I'm in a stage in my life right now. I contribute a great income to our family. My husband still works full time. I have 2 young ones. I have childcare come in 4 hours in the mornings, and then I'm a mom the rest of the time. And let's be honest, I don't even get all 4 hours because they find me in my office.
Right.
But what I'm getting at is this. I'm living my life by design because 8 years ago I went, when I become a mother, I want to be financially set. I want to be able to afford some part-time childcare. I want to be able to work in my giftings while I still work as a mother, that full-time job.
Right.
And for me, I have written 1 book, but God has put many books in me. I have a lot of books that need to come out, and writing a book is no joke. It is,
right.
It will pull it out of you. I did not realize how difficult it was going to be to write a book. I would say the second hardest thing next to having a baby. And you're an author too. So I guess what I'm getting at is I'm on a mission to help people get financially free so they can use their giftings without worrying about money.
Absolutely. So tell us about Time Millionaire. Tell us about your book.
So what I discovered in the network marketing profession is that it's heavily personal growth driven. And so often my mentors will be like, well, your business is tied to you as a leader. So how are you growing? And that was always reflected, like look in the mirror. And so what this book is really, it's the principles I learned along the way. Like it is a personal growth fast track. So when 10 years ago, when my mentor said, hey, you need to grow. And I was like, well, where do I start? And they're like, well, there's like 10 million books to read. Well, I read all those 10 million books, pulled the most transformational parts and really put it into this book. So it really is the story about me becoming a time millionaire, meaning I run my days. I say yes to what I want to. I say no to what I need to. And that for me is truly living, waking up and not feeling that pressure every day.
Right. And so I just love watching your journey, Angie, because I remember us talking about some things a while back. And I know you didn't really mention it here. You don't have to go into detail, but I know that you were doing some competing. Um, was it fitness?
Yeah, I was like in the bodybuilding world. I was a fitness competitor many years ago. So yeah.
And then watching you now having babies and then posting like, you know what, I'm not going to work out today. I'm just not. And going from this world of having to be perfect, having to be, look perfect, and even in personal training, they always tell you you want to look like what you want your client to be, right? And so it's saying, you know what, I'm just going to be Angie. I'm just going to be a mom today, and I'm not going to put this pressure on myself. Can you talk to the ladies a little bit about that? Because that is a gift too, to just release, to just let go.
Yes.
So can you just talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, because it is something that can really torment you and pull you away from your giftings if you are feeling just this massive lack of confidence, if you're feeling down on yourself, if you're feeling guilty. So, as I mentioned, I just had my second baby. I'm currently about 40 pounds overweight than where I feel really powerful, but it doesn't mean that I can't act in my power right now. It doesn't mean that I'm not on a journey. Fitness, that is a lifelong journey.
Right.
And it will ebb and flow, and you have to give yourself grace in certain seasons. My body, I had a C-section. I'm repairing. I'm very gentle with myself, and I have very reasonable goals. So I've given myself through the end of this year to get 20 pounds off. That is, the first echelon of the goal. It's not easy, ladies. If you have a weight loss goal, I hear you. It is hard. I hired a fitness coach myself just for that extra level of accountability. It's not, when it comes to transforming your body, it's not something that just happens thinking about it. And there are mornings where I am waking up at 5:30 so that I can pump, take care of the baby, get my workout in, shower, do my hair and makeup, show up online, do what I need to do. And I have to be quite regimented about it. So it's not that I'm loose, but I can read my body. So today, knowing I was going to show up with you guys today, and I really wanted to soak in some extra time with my baby, I let myself do that today. So I would say that I'm quite regimented, but I give myself ease and flow and grace so that it doesn't become something I hate to do, but something I look forward and am excited about that transformation. Does that make sense?
Definitely. And that's so powerful because sometimes we get lost in, how am I going to look? How am I going to show up? What are other people going to think? All these things. And sometimes it's just like, it doesn't matter. Just go. Just jump, right? I posted something on on Facebook the other day that says, just jump. And figure it out later, figure out the rest later. It'll come. And so I just think that you have been a great representation of just jumping. Like you and your husband, traveled all over the world. You've started, different businesses, and all of that, has got you to where you are now. And so now you are on baby number 2, and, you have a regimen down. And so for ladies who feel like, I know what my gift is, but, I have all of these things that I have to do or work through. Give them some encouragement on, what the next steps can be for them.
You just need to focus on the next step, not the next 20 steps. It's like chasing breadcrumbs. You're like, okay, now I got some confirmation there. Okay, I got some confirmation there. You might not see the whole picture unfold, but what is the very next step for you? For some of you, it's going back and actually just writing out what you believe in. What do you believe in? What do you stand for? What makes you unique? Ask God, what are my gifts, God? Why am I here? Who am I? And it's going back to what your true identity is. Because when you uncover who you truly are and you are firm in your identity, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. It doesn't matter what business you undertake because you know who you are and you're ready to run. I'll say this. Your procrastination is stealing from you. And it's stealing from the people that you're meant to impact. So just jump. I mean, you couldn't, it is the most simple thing. And yet so many people are stuck up here. Well, what if this happens? Oh my gosh, this person can find it. Okay, I need to have everything perfect. No, that's not how it works, because confirmation and confidence is built when you're in action.
Right.
So use summits like this to propel yourself into action. Don't just watch and be like, man, I feel really filled up. No. Use it to get into action. Write out your beliefs. Take that next step. For some of you, it might be hiring a coach. For me, if I'm feeling like really plateaued, stuck, I know I need to next level my coach or undertake a program, something that's going to propel me. For some of you, it's literally just starting to post online. You're like, I know I have a message. Well, start speaking your truth. For some of you, it's starting to show up on video. Maybe some of you need to launch a podcast. Guess what? YouTube has all your answers. Google how to start a podcast. You know, all the resources are there is what I'm saying, Frankie. All of them.
Definitely.
Stop being a tightwad. I need to tell someone that, because it's going to take an investment of your time.
It's going to take an investment. Yes.
You cannot expect to have change without changing something. I was just meeting with my key leaders last night, and I was telling them, like, guys, we are running for the next level. Which represents, what the top 1% of the company. And they're like, okay, Ange, well, then we have to change something to go next level. I'm like, speaking my words right there. I hear you. So we talked about, okay, what needs to be changed? What needs more focus? This is what entrepreneurs do. They constantly go back to the drawing board and go, what do we got to do next? And then they do it.
Yeah.
They eliminate excuses.
Definitely. It's time to level up, ladies. Level up. So, Angie, if someone wants to get in contact with you and all of your amazingness, this woman is a wife, a mother, and some of the other ladies who came on as well, wife and mother and business owner and, visionary transformational coach. How can they get in contact with you and keep this conversation going?
Yes, well, angiegarner.com tells you more about what I do. I really, if you already are set on creating your own business, you have a business, maybe a direction in mind, you need help with your personal brands, my 8-week Dream Biz Blueprint, that would be a great route for you. And there's applications on angiegarner.com. Or if you're looking for a way to make money, you want to monetize quickly, you need a resource, then perhaps being part of my inner circle and my team is where it would be best for you, because that is where we get into action and create profits extremely fast. So angiegarner.com or at angie.garner on Instagram. I'm hanging out there.
Awesome. So is there anything else that you want to share with the ladies before you leave the broadcast?
Ladies, everything you need is inside of you. If you really just get still, you know what your next step is. You do. You know you're here for a purpose, on purpose, for a purpose. You're here to impact lives, and it takes you being the first one to go. So let's step out and level up. Thanks for having me, Frankie.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.